What do you specifically want to know about this camera? Leave a comment down below and I'll suss it out for you. It's here. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ben and I'm a photographer and videographer based in North Wales. I have done very well not to touch this box yet. This arrived yesterday in work, where we also got a brand new Sony a7 IV, Alpha 7 IV, but I behaved myself. I managed not to open it until today, where I've got everything set up for this video. So we're going to unbox the brand new Sony Alpha a7 IV together. I have already done this once. My workplace also got an a7 IV yesterday and I unboxed it. So first thing to note, I am very happy to see this. There is no plastic in this box. It is all recyclable paper or cloth, which is a great sign, really great sign. So obviously strap, that stays in the box. USB cable is probably going to stay in the box. The battery comes in this nice cloth packaging. I'll put that one straight on charge. Yeah, that was on 1%. We've also got our little power adapter for charging. That can probably stay in the box as well. And the most important part, here is the brand new Sony a7 IV. What a beauty. So I wasn't really going to do an unboxing. I'm sort of out of the habit of doing unboxings these days, but I had to really, just showing the way that Sony are going. There's zero plastic waste in this box, which I am very happy about. Box can go away. So first impressions, straight out of the box. I've not even switched it on yet. This feels fantastic. I've not actually held a Sony a7S III just yet, but this feels fantastic in the hand. I do of course own the Sony FX3, which we're shooting on right now, which actually has a slightly different grip to the S3 as well. That's much more designed for using your thumb on top. That's why the joystick on the FX3 is up on top, and it is very comfortable shooting that way. So a look at the body itself. This is what I'm very excited about. The mode dial to switch between photo, video and S&Q. I am going to be a big fan of this dial, I think. Especially for the kind of work that I do as Valai Media. I shoot a lot of weddings and I'll be shooting at times both photo and video. In the past it can be a real pain having to switch between photo and video, changing your picture profile from PP8 to 0, and just having to change settings each time you do so. With this now, this should be a lot quicker, so I'm very excited to start playing with that. Our custom buttons compared to the a7 III, a7R4 are different. What would be C1 is now the record button, which I'll have to get used to, I suppose. C2 is still in the same place, but C1 has moved to the back of the camera next to the EVF there. I'm sure that won't take too long to get used to. C3 and menu still in the same place, just like the a7 III, a7R4. AF on, AEL, exactly the same. The joystick looks very nice. I was a big fan of the joystick on the a7R4, so I'm glad this looks to be very much the same. And then we've got the FN, back dial and play and trash buttons. One other thing to note is that the exposure compensation dial now has no markings on it at all. It does still lock, so we can lock it in place, but you can now customize this dial to do whatever you want. Maybe not whatever you want, but you have a choice of what that dial does. In terms of media, we have one of the same slots as in the FX3 A7S3, where we can use either an SD or CF Express Type A card. Slot 2 is just an SD card, but they are both UHS 2. In the FX3, I am usually using the CF Express Type A cards because I do actually shoot a fair bit in 4K 100p. So it is nice just having the reassurance I'm not going to be skipping any frames or anything. Otherwise, I'm using ProGrade V90 UHS 2 SD cards. These things are solid. I've been using ProGrade V60s for the previous 2 years or so, and I have never had a single issue with those cards. Highly recommend. We do of course now have a fully articulating rear LCD screen. I have become quite a big fan of this using the FX3. Previously I've also been using the Sony a7iv, which also has fully articulating screen, and honestly compared to the a7R4 and the a7 III, I am quite a big fan of this. Looking at ports on the side, we have a tiny little door to start with for our microphone jack. That means that when we're plugged in, that is not going to interfere at all with our articulating screen. Below that we have the headphone monitoring port. Below that we have USB Type-C for charging. When I've got a camera rigged up, I very often have a cable plugged in to trickle charge the battery from V-mount, so that's always handy. Then at the bottom we've got the USB multi-interface support as well. That's handy for trigger handles, things like that. And then what I'm very happy about is that we have a full-size HDMI port rather than the naff little micro HDMI. Very happy to see that. And then let's have a quick little look at the sensor. You've got to really, haven't you? This is now a 33 megapixel sensor, so I'm very excited to start using this for a lot of photography. But it also means that we're getting a 7K downsample to 4K in our videos. Even in APS-C mode, shooting 4K 50, that is still a 4.6K downsample. Can't complain with that. So one final note on the body. Going back to August last year, I was trying my hardest to get hold of a Sony a7S3 for my wedding videos, but it didn't happen. You just could not get hold of one. In the end, I ended up getting the FX3 instead, and I have been very happy with it. But back when I thought I was getting an a7S3, I actually jumped the gun a little bit and ordered a cage for the a7S3. This one right here. And now, from what I've heard, Sony have basically used the exact same body from the a7S3 to make the a7 IV. So in theory, this cage should fit perfectly onto this camera. Yeah, perfect. So then, let's switch her on. I'm going to use the Ninja 5 here to record my screen, because there is one very, very important thing you need to do as soon as you switch your camera on for the first time. I'm sorry if you can hear the fan. Okay, so first tip for the Sony a7 IV, because I know people will be asking this question all over the place. So we'll go into our menu, scroll all the way down to the settings menu, down again to number 8, power setting options, and at the bottom you'll see auto power off temp, which is temperature, and we'll set that to high. Job done. Your camera probably will never overheat now unless you're shooting in an oven or a desert. Ooh, it is raining. Okay, so this really is just a very early impression. It's the first, well, second time I've held this camera. Yeah, I'm excited to get using it. I'll be using this camera for all manner of photo and video work. I will do a review after a few months or so of use. So what I want to know really is, what do you want to know about this camera? We've all seen the videos about the new features, the focusing, everything about it has been covered pretty much. But what do you specifically want to know about this camera? Leave a comment down below and I'll suss it out for you. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Might have found it useful. If you want to know anything about this camera, do leave a comment down below. Give it a like if you like this video and hit subscribe to see future videos about the Sony a7 IV. I'm going to be trying to do a few photo trips and sort of POV photo videos, that kind of thing as well. I've been without a dedicated photo camera for a little while now, so I'm excited to get back out there with all the features that are packed into this camera body. So yeah, until next one, be good, stay safe, get shooting, and I'll see you in the next video.